Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jean-Luc. I'm an actor, director, and music producer. Today we're going to be looking at two in-ear headphones. I've got here the Status Audio 3ANC noise cancelling earbuds up against, and then we have the Sony WF-1000XM5. I've been using AirPods for a really long time. They've worked pretty well, but I've noticed some issues. For example, my battery life on the case, super low now. My case only holds a charge for like 45 minutes until I need to plug it in. If you guys have AirPods, you know, without the case having battery, you can't connect your AirPods to your phone. The case has to be on for them to connect. I'd had issues with AirPods before. My first pair, the transparency mode slowly got worse and worse. So I wouldn't be able to hear the outside world as clearly. The noise canceling was also really subpar, and so I brought them to the Apple Store. I feel like Apple support now, Apple customer care, it's almost as if Apple works hard to make it hard so that you'll just opt for buying the new device because they release a new one every year or every 2 years in the case of the headphones. Let's dive right in, shall we? Okay, so first up today, we have the Status Audio, cool local company from Brooklyn. We're based in Brooklyn here at VLV Media and Records, so love to support a local company. These are interesting and very cool. There's been a lot of Instagram ads. That's actually where I found these first and decided to get them. They say and claim that they have a 30-day return policy, although if you look online, there's a lot of places that say they don't respond very quickly. So take your gamble with customer service on this one, guys. That's all I'm going to say. These are cool. As we get into the unboxing here, there's a couple of things to note about this. Now, I have spent a good amount of time with both these headphones, using them out in the world. So I do have a pretty keen sense of how they are different and what they're good at doing individually. First of all, I really love the packaging. This is a cool box. I love the branding. If it looks good, it doesn't always sound good. Looks good, sounds good, it is good. But looks good doesn't always sound good. So we're going to find out what's going on. So we have little instruction manuals. The branding's beautiful. I mean, they've got pictures. They've got their multi-colorway illustrated here, so if you want to do the onyx color or the white one, which I believe is called bone in, bad joke. It's a bad joke. Okay, but you can download the app. They've got a cool app. I say cool. It's not that cool, in my opinion. Sorry, Status. James Bertooth. This is interesting. Status Audio prides itself, I assume, on being like a local Brooklyn company. In here, they have a photo of the founder and CEO of Status, James Bertuzzi, or Bertuzzi, I don't know, sorry, the Italians out there. Founder and CEO has his email in the pamphlet. Do we think that he responds if we send him an email? I wonder. I don't know. All I can say is I have seen lots of posts on Reddit comparing these two, and trying to decide which ones I want for myself. I did some research of my own. A lot of people commenting that the customer service on these is trash, or like people tried to return them, they didn't hear for a year, like absurd stuff. Shop at your own risk. And I guess if you have any problems, you can email James. Upon opening this box, we have the little charging case that comes with the headphones, and we have a little sectioned off portion here. So we have a charging cable, a USB-C charging cable. It's nicely made. Good quality, doesn't feel flimsy like it's going to break, feels like it'll last the duration of the lifetime of the headphones. That's good. And there's a little baggie here. So this is Status Audio insignia, if you will. I guess this is their specialized sound delivery system. They have on their headphones almost like a dual earbud silicone system. This is the part that goes against the bone in your ear, that kind of like curved flat part that you can press in your ear. And then obviously this, the standard earbud, which goes in the canal, okay? I'll just pull out the headphones now. So here they are. We've got a chic little charging case. I think this case is well designed. That's something I'm gonna note right now, is that when I got this, I was like, this is good plastic, has a metal hinge, which is similar to the AirPods. It clicks closed, it's nice. So they got the button on the back, the USB-C port, and then in the front, okay, you can open them and see. I love this. They've got the 3 dots, very stylish, 3 ANC. Now the ANC is the active noise canceling, that's what that stands for. We love that, it's great. So this is the earbud. Okay, it looks like a Ring doorbell. That's kind of like the meme online, the joke that people make, that it looks like a Ring doorbell. Goes against the bone in the ear here, has a little hole in it, so I assume some sort of bass transmission or sonic vibration transmission into the bone happens here. This is the earbud, so this goes in the canal. It has a nice little button on the top. That is great. In my experience, the only thing I really used that for was quickly turning off the noise canceling. I'd press it once, it would turn it on. I'd press it once and turn it off. This little black outside part, you can also tap, much like you could the first version of AirPods, and you tap once to start, tap once to stop, double tap to switch songs, and then triple tap to go back. It's similar to the squeeze on the Apple AirPod stems, okay? Same type of system. Something I do like, though, about this is you can actually hold down on the right bud and it'll raise the volume, or you can hold down on the left and it'll decrease the volume. Now, this is very important. In my use of these, I took them to the gym, I took them on the train, I used them at work. I tried a bunch of different use cases for these. At the gym, I was getting a huge issue of dropouts. Not good. I'd be working out, I'd have my phone in my pocket, it's Bluetooth connected, and they would cut out, one would pop in, I'd have sound in the right, then it would snap into the left, they'd come back into sync, and we'd be back in business, but it would drop out frequently, and I don't know if there was a lot of interference. I was not pleased with that. You know, it happens sometimes with AirPods, but it was happening more than I was comfortable with. Another issue that I'd experienced is, upon taking them out of the case, putting them in my ears, a good amount of the time that it's worth noting here, I would press the noise cancellation button, the little button on the top, which I believe can also be used to hold down and like activate Siri, or I haven't tried it. Maybe I should right now. Okay, no, when I hold it down, it just powers the headphone off. Yeah, I guess is useful. That's really my review of these, and there's not too much else to say about the functionality. We'll get to the audio in a minute and the sound. Something else that I found interesting, the transparency mode is non-adjustable. In AirPods, you're able to adjust loudness and the tone, the darkness or brightness of the transparency mode. You can adjust the color of that sound. You can also change the loudness. This, I did not see anywhere a way to do this. The app is pretty basic and only focuses on sound profile. Look, if you're just getting these headphones to have good earbuds where you can listen to music, these are not a bad option. But if you're looking for practicality and features, these are relatively limited in their features, especially compared to AirPods. Although now I'm getting this issue where since I turned the right one off now, it doesn't appear that the left one is in sync or turning on when I open the case. Yeah, this is not even connecting now. See, they're just a little temperamental, you know, and it requires some fussing and fudging. They are set either on transparency mode or on noise canceling mode. There's nothing in between. The transparency mode is very bright. It's extremely clear. I've tried a few of these in-ear headphones that have transparency mode, and I have to say this one is the clearest. There are a lot of mics on this. There's a mic on the top. There's a mic on the bottom. There's a really good sense of like space when you wear these. If you are walking down the street and you have a loud siren go off near you or a loud bang, they actually like duck the amount of input that you're getting, which is really interesting. I've never had that happen before with a headphone. It's a really nice effect. It just slams down on it and then gradually opens it back up so that you're never receiving too much sound. And they are loud. The transparency mode is almost designed to be as clear as if you don't have anything in your ear at all, which some people may really like. Plus with that transparency mode compression, it keeps it even and balanced so that you're never going above a certain dB level. So I think it's safe to wear. You're going out on the train, you're working in a loud environment. It's very helpful to kind of keep the levels tolerable. But I did find that sometimes that compressor would come a hair late, so you'd get the initial blast of the sound and then it would correct, and it's just an odd system. There's no control over how it's actually working. It is what it is. Now let's talk about the sound. Their big selling point is supreme triple driver acoustics. Well, they claim that most in-ear headphones only have one speaker, and that they're trying to deliver all of this sound, complex, rich sound, right through one speaker. These claim to have three. They are quite large. There's a lot of room for bass resonance, but those three speakers definitely deliver a sense of space that I've not experienced with in-ear headphones before. It places the sound around you in a detailed way. Maybe you have more of the experience that you might have with over-the-ear cans, where your stereo field is very live. You feel like you're almost in the room with the recording, which is a very cool experience. They also have great bass. They're bass forward. I've seen reviews on these, and I don't actually agree with a lot of the things people will say, especially when they put them up against The Sonys, my experience of these as a music producer, they rumble. They give you that feeling. When you open the app, it's going to ask you to select the device. This is tricky. If the case is closed, it's not going to be able to discover it. You have to actually take the headphones out of the case and put them in your ear. Now, once I've put them in my ears, the app is connecting to the headphones. Within this app, there's really not much going on here. You've got on the right side an update feature, you've got then the sound profiles, and then you've got the home, which is really just a switch for the noise canceling and the ambient mode. You can switch on the noise canceling here, you can switch on ambient mode, and I guess you can turn them both off. Within the sound mode, you have default. This EQ is straight across the board, no changes. There are a lot of bands here. You've got 8 bands to mess with. You make the changes and you don't actually hear an accurate response. You have to apply it and save it before the curve kicks in. This right here gives you a measurement. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a dB. I'll go all the way up, and there's certainly not 10 dBs of gain at that frequency. I like to know and hear the changes I'm making. I can definitely have a sense of it. I know what I want to change. I guess a lot of people who care about audio are going to know what an EQ is and how it works. I like live response because it gives you a sense of what's actually happening. We have 3 included profiles here. We've got the Status Signature, the Status Audiophile, and the original Between Pro, which is the former version of these headphones. The Status Signature is a nice warm sound. I believe it prioritizes low end and high end, cutting out the mids. The Status Audiophile, flat curve. It doesn't do much change. It gives you a very even sound. It's trying to create like a very reference quality sound. And the original Between Pro is a little more mid-heavy. I find I'm on the Status Signature or I'm designing one of my own when I listen to these. I found actually giving a little boost in the 400s, cutting this low end a little bit, cutting a little bit at the 1K, raising at the 2K, the 5K, and the 14K was kind of a nice curve. A lot of bass. Definitely a lot of drive, definitely a lot of power. Features, not the best. Functionality, consistency, also not the best. When these retailed, I believe they were coming out at $240. Expensive. I mean, you're up there with AirPods. Same price. A lot of reviews claim that AirPods sound better. I don't know if I agree with that. I think AirPods really focus on a sheen sound. You're getting a lot of that sweetness on the high end. I think sound better than AirPods, but you're not getting the level of functionality and convenience that an AirPod system is going to give you, especially if you have an iPhone. So leave it in the comments if you have any questions. Going to be happy to answer. So now we finished taking our look at the Status 3 ANC wireless earbuds. Talked about the sound quality, talked about the practicality and efficiency of the features it offers. I talked about the app and talked about the price point coming in at $179. I think they realized that what they were offering was not necessarily enough to compete with other headphones of the $250, $300 variety. In addition to the $179, the new discounted price of $179, they also offer a 20% rebate on their website that's sent by way of a Visa like credit card that's loaded with that amount. I've never seen anything like that. I'm sure it's done, but it's odd to me. I don't really understand how it works. There's like a 60-day hold as well. I guess you have to wait to make sure you don't return them so that they can honor the 20%. But again, if you're just someone who's looking for a good pair of headphones, they're IPX5 waterproof rated. That's pretty high for earbuds, and that's certainly higher than the Sony WF-1000XM5. Those are rated at IPX4, so sweat resistant, rain resistant, but you couldn't dunk them in water. The Status headphones are going to be more resilient to water, ultimately. Moving on, the Sony WF-1000XM5 come in at $300. They're definitely more expensive on the retail price side, almost double that of the Status headphones. It's definitely a consideration in purchasing it. I was able to get them on Amazon for around $250, actually $38, I think, discounted through my business account, which is awesome. Was not complaining about that. Immediately upon opening the box, the Sony is much smaller than the Status Audio. So we have both cases. The Sony case is quite a bit smaller than the Status Audio case. Leaner, flimsier. No metal hinge that I can see. I believe it's a plastic hinge. Feels like this could break. Upon taking these out, they're shaped much differently than the Status headphones are. Status looks like this, right? And the Sonys look like this. Now, I don't know if I got a look at this, but I'm going to show you guys this now. These headphones are meant to be in the ear and pointed slightly forward, like so. Okay, this is what they look like in the ear. They stick out a little bit. I've noticed they've they've fallen out inconveniently at times, which I don't love. I find that the Sonys, although they look large, they actually stay in the ear really nicely. You're meant to put them in, advised in the packaging to put them in and then twist back and down. So once these are in, okay, they live like this. Immediately, something I notice is the noise cancellation on these is incredibly better than, I mean, it's no contest, seriously, no contest with the Status 3ANCs, which is puzzling. I find that the marketing on the 3ANC Status audio headphones was very robust in suggesting that they cancel more sound than the AirPods. AirPods are supposedly rated at minus 25 dB or 24 dB. That's just a claim that Status makes again, and then they claim that these are rated at minus 38 dB. Compared to the Sonys, I almost think these are twice as good. Turn noise cancellation on or off, you tap the left side to start, you tap the right side. I find that these are really great. Didn't get as many cutouts at the gym. There wasn't the issue of the drop. Also, the noise canceling works when I tap it every time. Sometimes with the Status, I'd press it and one headphone would go noise cancel, the other one wouldn't. These are both very consistent. They do exactly what I want them to do when I try and get them to do it. Now, let's take us into the app. The app is quite a bit different here on the Sonys. The first thing we're going to notice here is this app is much more dense than the Status Audio, whereas the Status Audio gives you a few sound profiles to choose from, that's it, and then a graphic equalizer. Here, we've got a Status tab, we've got a sound tab, we've got a system tab, we've got service. I mean, it's like, oh, what's going on? It's like I have choice anxiety enough about picking the right headphone. Now that I've got choice anxiety about how to use these darn things. It shows you what song you're playing. It's synced with Spotify. That's cool. You can do it from the app. The ambient noise control, this is that transparency mode. It's really cool. You can actually decide how much sound you want to come through. 1 being the lowest amount, 20 being the most. You can select a voice pass-through or not. In other words, you can bring down the ambient sound, but allow it to prioritize the frequencies of the voice to allow them to come through a little more clearly. Very useful if you're in a situation where, you need to work and you're in a loud environment, but you want to still be able to hear people if they're talking to you. If you're walking down the street in New York and you want to be able to hear if someone's trying to get your attention for something, but you don't want to hear, the jackhammer or the car driving by or the fire truck. I mean, it gives you a lot of control over what you're doing to your ears. I can't hear anything when the noise canceling's on, barely even the sound of my own voice, which I think is great. The Sonys are rated on their website as the best truly wireless noise canceling earbuds, and I believe that's a claim based on a study that I'm sure they funded in 2023, which rated them as the best. And I mean, I don't know, I haven't tried a whole load of different ones, but I can confidently speak about the AirPods versus the Status versus these, and these do blow both the AirPods and the Status Audio out of the water. They look great. There was a lot of talk about the former version, the XM4s, being larger. These are supposedly more comfortable and smaller, more lightweight than the XM4s. I definitely feel that. They feel great in the ears. Don't feel like they're going to fall out. The Sonys also include different size tips. And they've included an additional size to the XM4s. They've included an extra small, so you can really narrow your canal as you're covered. Let's go back to the app here. So another feature that I really like is you can turn speak to chat on, which is going to give you noise canceling. It's going to bring everything down, but then when you start talking, it's going to actually pause your song or whatever you're listening to, and then open up your ambient mode. So you can then have a conversation, pause your song. No work done on your part. You just start talking. Very intuitive headphones. The equalizer, pretty good as well. Instead of 8 bands, they give you 6, but they're powerful and they adjust as you're adjusting them. In other words, the sound adjusts as you're adjusting them in the moment. So you're getting live feedback about the changes you're making, which is, again, something I really enjoy because it lets you shape what you're doing to the song or genre of music that you're listening to on the go. They've got an equalizer. They have a clear bass, which is interesting. It's a little different here. You've got 400, 1K, 2.5, 6.3, and 16K, and then clear bass, which I don't know what it is, but it obviously affects the bass. It's really cool too is they got the Find Your Equalizer feature. This is fun. This allows you to, this Find Your Equalizer feature allows you to play a song. To chat, I gotta turn that off because it keeps pausing the song every time I talk. 8 slow on the bass. This is low bass, high end, brighter. This has a higher mid-range. This is pretty balanced and even. A little more higher mid-range, less bass, a little more bass. Now, I went with 4. Yeah, giving us a little more lift. Interesting. So then it shows you a comparison of what we're hearing. So, you've got a lot of features on this thing. We've got 360 reality audio. They've got apps that you can explore with that feature. I mean, it's just endless. The ear shape I haven't even done yet. They give you a great sense of your activity, right? How much I've been using these 21 hours and I just got them. That's crazy. Something that's important though is to not listen above a certain volume level. 80 dB is the amount of time or the sound pressure rating that you're not supposed to exceed for a long period of time. I usually never listen above that. My listening range is between 63 dB and 78. I give you a report of this so that you can keep track of your hearing. It's very important to protect your hearing, okay? That's something I want to say, especially if you live in New York City. There's a lot of loud sounds out there. The subway is too loud. It's rated too loud. It's like hitting 90 dB. It's very loud, and you're damaging your hearing every time you expose yourself to sounds like that. Noise-canceling headphones are very good because they are actually lowering the sound threshold that you're exposing your ears to day to day. So by wearing these, you're actually saving and protecting your hearing at some level. It's not going to do all of the work. Like, you still need to be careful and wear earplugs when things are exceedingly loud. But they even have a little feature here which shows you hearing effect reduction through the noise canceling. So based on how much you've used the noise canceling, how much sound exposure that's been over that limit that's safe have you been mitigating. I'm listening to Popular by The Weeknd, Playboy Cardi, and Madonna. It's a great track. This is the first time I've actually heard the song. I like it, saving it. So the sound quality on these, I like it better overall. I think Status Audio gives you the benefit of a really punchy bass. I think it gives you the benefit of having a little more spatial experience, a little more of a stereo feel where you can actually place yourself in the sound. These, they're just giving you clarity and control. Like, you want more bass, you can get it there. You want a richer, cleaner high end, you can get it there. You want crispness, you can get it there. And there's no real bloat. Like, I'll notice when I change the profiles on this, there's a sense of like lacking. If I start really jarring the EQ around, it almost distorts certain other frequencies. Like, if I push the bass too much, my high end suffers. If I push the high end too much, the bass suffers. There's not a good relationship between making these changes. These Sony headphones, you're still hearing everything the way it's meant to be heard, gives a rich listening experience that's deeper and just more of what I'm personally looking for in a headphone. I hope that this has helped you make a better decision. If you don't mind, like, subscribe, and leave a comment about more content that you'd like to see. Reviews about plugins, if you'd like to see a studio tour of the way I've got the space designed and how I work with people in the studio, let me know. Thank you guys so much for checking out VLV Media and Records, and I'll see you next time.